Hi, and welcome back to the program. We have a very special guest with us today. His name is Robert Ryerson, and he's the president of New Century Planning in Freehold, New Jersey. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great, my friend. Hey, listen, we are probably talking about the most significant and relevant topic in the country right now, and that is inflation. It has gone bonkers, Bob. You and I have had several conversations about this, and whether that's commodities that are no longer available or all of these things shooting up in price, I think it's really important to hear from an educated professional like yourself in the world of financial services to tell us your thoughts on inflation.
Yeah, well, Mark, we had a long period in this country where inflation rates were very low, long time. And then the last year or so, it's been top of the news. And so we've got a situation where the politicians have just been printing money and printing money. COVID obviously didn't help. We just broke 31 trillion in the debt as of October 4th. We are hearing about shortages here and there, possibly a serious diesel shortage, fertilizer, other bottlenecks. And so we have elevated inflation that people have not seen. The government is telling us it's 7 or 8%, but obviously food and fuel have been a lot more than that, double digits to be sure.
Well, listen, gasoline alone, if that hasn't gone up close to 100%, right? I mean, I recall buying it not that long ago, right? 2+ years at below $2. I just filled up. It was over $4 a gallon. What are some of the things, Bob, that retirees, pre-retirees for that matter, what can they do to protect themselves and hedge against inflation and really put some sort of strategy together?
Well, that's a great question. We are concerned because I think a lot of advisors and planners are not yet addressing inflation with their pre-retirees or retirees, and it's something you've got to look at. If you go back to 1977, 78, you had people retire, they had maybe a pension, Social Security, their budget, everything's cool. And by 1981, 82, it wasn't cool. So if inflation stays high for even a few years, it can completely change the retirement outlook for people. And so one of the things they can do, the primary thing when they're building an income plan, is to build in regularly scheduled boosts of income. Every, 3 to 5 years or so, there's some guaranteed increases in your income stream that will help you keep your standard of living. Easier said than done, but that can be done and that can be layered in, and it should be in guaranteed fashion.
Bob, I first of all, there's two things I have to bring up right now. That tie is outstanding. If only it could manifest itself in the true gold bars to hedge against inflation. I just love it. Hey, the second piece is it, and I know you're very politically aware, my friend, that the White House was talking about how generous they are about increasing the amount of Social Security that you're going to receive to combat inflation. And there's kind of a ha-ha here, Bob, if I may say, because they're the reason behind it. Fair statement?
Well, we just had the highest cost of living adjustment since 1982, 8.7%. But if inflation is 9 or 10 or 11, it's not so great. But you're right. The politicians spend and print money. There's no sign of that stopping. We're adding $1 trillion to the debt every 8 months. That is not sustainable. If you think of a hockey stick, we're up on the handle of the hockey stick now. So another thing that people want to do, besides adding in those regularly increasing boosts of income, is they've got to get some money out of the dollar. If you think about it, everybody who works, any kind of income they have from their job, their house is denominated in dollars or properties. Their liquid assets, their bank accounts, their liquid assets, everything is denominated in US dollars. And the government is slowly, maybe not so slowly these days, actively destroying the buying power of those dollars. So we've got to get some money out of the dollar.
Hey, Bob, any final thoughts here? I got about 30 seconds left about assets, inflation, what people can do today.
Yeah, so money out of the dollar. This would be precious metals. This would be timber, commodities, farmland, energy, foreign bonds, foreign stocks. These can be held in IRAs, Roth IRAs, in joint account. Money out of the dollar, maybe 10 or 15% of the portfolio. That historically does the trick in terms of protecting the overall portfolio from inflation.
Bob, I want to thank you for being on the program today. Hey, can we have you back sometime?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. And don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.